Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. Unfortunately, as I said before, we had to say goodbye to dear old Mirai, but it's my pleasure, as always, to welcome a new face to the cast. Welcome, Hamcakes.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
How does it feel to be live on air on one of the most, technically, well, in my heart at least, one of the most prestigious Twitch channels on the entirety of Twitch.tv?
I was going to say, this is the Twitch channel to be on it.
Yeah, true. I can't imagine anywhere being quite as hot as here, and anywhere being quite as hot as the Easter Exeter 5v5. I'm so proud of that pun. So for this game, we have team... Oh, I really hope I haven't got the roster on the wrong side. We have Team 1, who we saw last game, coming up against Team 2, actually, so who we've already seen once today. So it's going to be... We saw Team 1 have a banger of a game against Team 3, absolutely stomped them out the park. Sorry, we saw Team 3 have bang games, Team 1 absolutely stomped them out the park. We saw Team 2 absolutely blow Team 3 out the water. So, by the rules of everyone beats everyone and everything goes down to tiebreakers, in my heart, that means we're going to see a Team 1 victory in this game. It's the rules, it's the only way things can go, mathematically.
And that's what we can hope for, right? I mean, more games, more clown fiestas,
more games.
Mid.
Wow, I can't wait to organise more games. Of course, no, it would be my pleasure to cast as many as possible. But no, just cover for rosters here. We have seen both these teams before, but I'm just going to pull them up for ease of access. We see on... Yeah, I forgot which teams this is. Oh, Christ. No, Team 1, we see obviously Billy Bob, Max Verstappen, aka Alpha, Jimmy, Get Wrecked, and Mizu, who struggled a bit last game, but maybe that was because you had your prime carry pick Ilaoi mid on R5.
Yeah, I don't want to judge the players too much after that game, because that was just a bit of... It was just one of those games, we've all had them, where everyone loses. Yeah, everyone loses early, and it's against a Tryndamere, so there's not a huge amount of counterplay that you can do with that team comp.
Yeah. Whereas coming up against the returning Team 2, Old Man Santa, overperformer in the top lane perhaps, really pulling their weight in a way we didn't necessarily expect them to. Jason in the jungle, Refresh in the mid lane, Lockie on AD carry, and Hearsay on support.
I was quite impressed with Lockie's first couple of games. I mean, it was a bit on the more quiet side, but I think he played it well, especially against a Zed as a Jhin. He ended up dying, I believe, only once to it, which I think was quite well played. Yeah,
quiet side, but like in like a, you know, like an elegant, dignified way. Didn't even elegantly lose. Elegantly kept even with the Caitlyn lane. So, you know, nice done by Lockie. I think the teams are just about to get ready though. Just about to be running in.
And your mic's got off. But no, it'll be interesting to see how the teams draft, because I always find it fascinating how teams draft when you've got such obviously like a difference in skill between players. It's like, do you target ban the high elo players, or do you stick them on something that they know they're going to play and then just counter around it? Yeah,
I mean, it's a very interesting choice, right? Both teams going to have to decide. But we do see, as we saw last game, Jimmy, 4 bans thrown their direction, and I expect we'll see something similar in this game. Ari, the first ban once again, but Tryndamere this time taken off the table.
I fully expect Yone to be banned as well at some point as well. Well, they go for the Vex, which I think is a bit of a weird choice.
I mean, this is what they chose. This is what Team 3 chose, and they seem to shut down Jimmy pretty well. I think Vex is fairly blindable as well, and also does quite well into a lot of the melee champions that Refresh will wanting to play in this mid lane. The Tryndamere ban and the Diana ban. I wonder if we'll see an Aurelia ban, because that's obviously Refresh's big champion. Yone, you called it.
Of course, yeah. I think that was always going to happen. It will probably be the Aurelia ban just to get Refresh off of it, yeah, as you said. Right, and what do they prioritise? Will it be the Jinx that we've seen a couple of times?
Oh,
no, it's
wow.
Camille.
The first pick, Camille, coming out here. We did see Old Man Santa put in a barn burner of performance on that champion in the first game. Not necessarily sure that's going up in the top lane, right? We can't know. It could also be flexed in the mid, as Mirai was talking about. Refresh could pick that up. It's one of his most played champions. But honestly, just stick Old Man Santa on that again. And when it doesn't look like you can counterpick it, it could be a really strong pick. Jinx does make it through though, and Jinx is immediately picked up by Get Rex Central.
Okay, are they picking Jax to try and deny it from...
Oh, the Jax counter pick into the this is a really nice Jax here. Jax can hard win a Camille matchup, right? Because you obviously parry that Q2, and then Camille is miserable because that's all of her burst damage just obliterated. Also denies it away from Refresh here. I think this is where the first pick Camille maybe shows its weakness, right? With the counter still available. Maybe they were hoping that there'd be an ADC support picked up on 1-2 and they could pick away the Jax. Instead, it's going to be the Lucian lock in here.
Okay, which tends to mean that that's going to be forcing Hearsay onto an Enchanter support. Obviously, you can play Lucian without an Enchanter, but it really needs those shields to do that extra damage to make him really worthwhile.
Lucian Nami, it's still available. Also worth noting, it's seen a little bit of a resurgence recently, the Lucian solo lane. And this Echo was banned out last time Team 2 was playing. So it's actually, it looks like Jason's going to be able to get that Echo jungle. We saw how well they did on this Taliyah. Echo feels like it might be even more of an issue.
I actually quite like the Echo pick with Camille, because obviously they both want to go in. Camille can lock down a target, and then Echo can obviously chuck his stun down and try and stun them on top of that. Could still be a mid lane Echo. I'm not entirely sure Refresh plays it, but...
So, we see the Jax lock in here, Jax Jarvan. Normally, I'd be a little bit sad that, you know, mid-jungle duo is full AD, right? You're not getting too much mixed damage. But Jax does do some magic damage with their auto attacks, and it's worth noting. There's only mid lane and support, or AD carry and support, need to be locked in here for Team 2. And neither mid lane AD carry or support really want to be picking tanky champions, especially with Refresh on your team. So nobody is really going to be building that much armor on the side of Team 2, right? So I think it matters a lot less that you've stacked these armor champions. Sure, maybe we'll see, I don't know, Azonia's come out from Echo, but there's not really too much armor you can build the Camille unless you want to rush something like the Frozen Heart, but that seems a bit like overcompensating, and you lose out on so much of your damage on that champion. So I don't think it... I'd normally criticize the single damage stack coming out from Team 1, but in this instance I don't think it's too much of an issue.
Don't really agree with the Nautilus ban there, because for reasons that I've said. I mean, they've got decent engage already with Jarvan. I don't think the other team's going to pick Nautilus either.
I mean, it's comfort for Hearsay, right? So taking away comfort, I think, makes a lot of sense, especially in a tournament where everyone knows each other so well. I'll be interested to see, is this going to be... Well, just what this pick is here. Whether it's going to solidify Jackson in the top lane, whether it gets sent mid lane. Instead, it's going to be the Lulu. Jinx, Lulu, such a strong combination. And you know... I was
going to say Lulu was going to be a good pick for Hearsay here.
Well, sorry.
One of his plays as well.
Sorry, I interrupted you then.
No, it's alright.
But you know what's really good as well with Lucian? Nami's taken off the table, Lulu's taken off the table. Lucian Braum, we're going back to Season 5, baby, Season 4. The classic combination. Obviously, Braum's stun passive really, really fast. And it's not like Braum has nothing to empower Lucian, right? The W, I think, does give Lucian an extra stack of their passive. So, and especially if you run something like the Font of Life on Braum. On the stun targets, on the slow targets, which are slowed up by your Q, Lucian's going to be empowering every other shot. As Riven here is the final pick, and I think is that a Riven mid for Refresh?
I think that's a Riven mid.
Oh my lord! I think. Wait.
It's not gonna be Alistair.
It's not gonna be the
Jax mid, is it?
It's not gonna be the Alistair support Lulu mid. Oh no, it's Jimmy. Of course, it's gonna be the frickin' Lulu mid. Please, I'm begging you, play a carry. We saw what happened last time. You tried to play a Lowy.
Is it actually Lulu mid? Oh no.
Oh my god. Maybe that's probably a proxy pick actually. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm copiuming. Ali is Veigar. I have the object permanence of a fucking goldfish, so I can't remember the rest of the draft. But Veigar, good into the Camille, right? Good into the Lucian short range champion as well. Good into the Braum. I actually really like this Veigar pick here on 5.
I was gonna say I really like it as well. The cage just does so much work against their comp. Stops Echo from going in, stops Riven from moving about, stops Camille from diving in.
Oh yeah, into the Riven. Obviously Veigar's seen as a counterpick to Ahri. And Riven, she's very mobile, but her mobility I think is more telegraphed than Ahri's, right? So the cage will be even more disastrous for the shorter range champion. Yeah, I do really like this Veigar pick coming out here on 5. And Jimmy playing a champion that deals damage and isn't a top laner, something I always love to see.
was going to say, mid lane this tournament has mostly been top laners.
Oh, maybe that's what happens when you role swap people from the top lane to the mid lane to try and balance out the role a little bit. But still,
nope, I'll play my champions here.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I guess there's a lot of interchangeability between the two lanes, right? We've seen a lot of top laners roam into the mid lane for you know, in pro play and stuff, so it's not that surprising, but still, nice to see an actual mid lane, good old bish bash boss champion come through, even if they're going up against a Riven mid. Wait, hold on. I'm having a quick look at the team comp coming out from team 2. This might be a Camille mid.
Do you reckon in Riven top?
Well, look who's chosen what champion.
That's a good point.
Riven.
Okay.
Riven top, I think that's a bit of a better matchup for the Camille. Obviously though, Camille not going to be able to land a single hook shot in this lane. The instant you see the E go onto the wall, if you're Timber top here, you just push the E yourself, and Camille is very miserable. Obviously, if you can jump over it with that Hextech ultimatum and get inside and get onto this Veigar, they're going to get blown up like a balloon. Just absolutely exploded everywhere, pop like a little bubble. But it's going to be hard for Camille to find these engages.
I'm just thinking, can Camille ult dodge Veigar ult?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about.
Veigar ult. I think they should be able to, because you can fizzy it, right?
You can fizzy it,
and it's the same sort of thing.
I believe you can. Yeah. But I don't know enough about Camille.
True, but that leads to a very interesting dynamic, I guess. Whether you save the ult to dodge the Veigar cage, whether you save it to dodge the Veigar ult, right? Like, I think it's going to be quite interesting to watch the skill matchup in the mid lane. These are maybe our two best players in the tournament coming up against each other, and they actually are playing champions that they know how to play this time. So,
I mean, I just like the idea of you're not locked in this cage with me.
Yeah, true. True. But
I mean,
taking a holistic look at these two comps, Handcakes.
Yeah.
Who do you feel has the upper hand going into this game?
I believe Team 2. Well, by Team 2 I mean
you mean
Team 1.
Team 1.
So Jimmy.
Yeah,
so
Jimmy's
team, yeah.
Jimmy's
Just to get that
team.
bit more confusing.
Yeah. But
obviously their early game's a bit weak. Especially against a Riven Lucian. But I just don't really see how the other team is supposed to play into that, because they're very much a team that want to dive them, they want to go forward, they want to go in, they want to kill stuff, but you're going into a Veigar Lulu. And a Jinx as well, with those chompers can also be pretty anti-dive. I mean, I have been wrong on saying whichever team has the advantage every single time in a draft before, so the fact that I think it's also Team 1, aka Jimmy's team, with the advantage here makes me a little bit worried for them, you know. My analysis skills aren't quite coming in clutch. But then it's not just that it's really hard for Team 1 to dive in. It's also the fact that it's a Lulu late game speeding up a Jax diving forward, speeding up a Jinx diving forwards, giving them extra auto attacks as well. I just think it's so incredibly difficult for Team 2 to play out this game. Sure, maybe you can look for some miracle flanks with Hearsay, but there's not that many engage tools, right? Your engage tools are Riven, your engage tools are Camille, and maybe Echo with landing a great stun, but these tools are all melee tools. You don't have something like a Solar Flare coming out. You don't have something like a Depth Charge coming out. All these tools are super, super committal. And committing into a Jinx, into a Veigar, into a Lulu, even into a Jax, that commit had better work, and it better work fast, or you're going to have a bit of a miserable time. Also not really a fan of the Braum pick, because yes, obviously Lucian Braum's strong in a vacuum. But in terms of actual team fights, Braum doesn't really do a whole lot here. Maybe he peels a bit, Jax with the ult, but there's nothing big that he can block with his shield, apart from maybe Jinx Rocket. But
Veigar ult as well,
and Veigar ult, yeah, can block that.
But I think Braum was a lot better of a pick before the Veigar came through, right? Like, I think into Jax, Jarvan, even into a Jinx, like blocking that damage can be quite useful, but now that this Veigar just denies any sort of engage coming out, there's also such a huge range difference. I'm only just realizing this, but look at Team 2's range. Their longest range champion is a Lucian. We talked about the committal engage before. Even going up to clear a wave is extremely committal. Whereas you've got, as I said, against the Jinx, against the Veigar, against the Lulu, all these champs are outraged. Even the Jarvan's going to end up outraging with that Cataclysm engage. So, yeah, I do think it's very, very difficult for Team for Team 2 to be able to play out this match. But we've seen stranger things on stream. Not the TV show. We've seen some very questionable gameplay from many teams in this tournament. So, you know, maybe Jimmy just decides to go 0-10 again, and they just pick up the win for free.
Well, I mean, I've actually seen him play in games that in games that matter, whereas I've not seen him play a Lowy. So I'm hoping we're getting the.
I have no idea what you mean. This is the most prestigious tournament. Every game matters. It's the
true.
playoffs race. All teams make it through to playoffs. So I mean, seeding will matter, right? If there's one team that's clearly better than the rest, you want to be the second best team, so you don't have to go up against them in the first round. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like we're just kind of gauging the strengths a little bit here. Let me just get. Oh, that's the wrong button.
I mean, the other point is, as you said earlier, being rich is the best team comp, because it doesn't
True.
matter if you've got a bad team comp. If you're 10k gold up and you have more items, you're just going to smack them around.
Once again, we're seeing the double ignite come out in these solo lanes from Old Man Center and from Refresh. We saw how they accelerated off those ignites in the previous, or like found the comebacks because of those ignites in the previous game, right? But Veigar able to play defensively. Jax does not want to be looking for fights. Jinx obviously can play it back in the spot lane, even though the ignite's not actually down there. It's still. I think that the ignites are eventually going to get outscaled by this Team 1 composition. Let me pull up. Let me make sure I got all the things working. We go here. We go time controls off. We wait for the. Oh, I have to keep this on actually for a little bit just to get past the black screen. It's a bit of a black screen diff. You know how it is in 2022. Riot, make a game that works challenge. 99% fail is all I'll say. But I think I actually have some theories on what causes the black screen to come through. Right? It's the idea that I think you load into the game before the players do, so it's got to catch up with the 6 seconds, so you can't like cheat. But anyway, we are finally into the match here. I'll rearrange the scoreboard. I'd be really interested to see how the Lucian Braum bot lane does, because I feel like that's one of the ways that Team 2 could get ahead in this game, could find the advantage and could snowball things. But level 1 play looks like it's coming out here. Actually, they're just stacking up in the bush.
Well, just stacking for the counter, I think.
Yeah. Wanting to deny anything with this Braum. Obviously, Braum, very strong level 1. So, denying that level 1 play, the stun coming out really fast from Locky Rune here. I think that's a smart move, but doesn't look like any early action's going to happen.
I think so, yeah. I think they just wanted to be there ready for a counter, just in case they do invade. Because obviously, Braum, super good at level 1 with the Lucian to easily proc a passive. So I think they're just thinking that, maybe that they'll invade, but they do not want to go for it. They want to play it a bit more safe.
Indeed.
Doing the standard 5 stack as well to...
Yeah, just the standard 5-man pattern. Not wanting any early jungle shenanigans going on with this Jarvan. Makes sense, obviously Jarvan's pretty strong. Can do some weird pathing over the wall, right? Over the Baron Pit wall, over the Dragon Pit wall. We don't see it too much these days. Also, no first strike on this Jarvan, so kind of a sad one if you ask me. I'm not seeing Malrang quite here, but instead just going to start on this bot side blue camp. Both junglers are passing towards top side though, so we might see some fights around the scuttle.
Actually a big fan of the first strike on Jarvan. I know it sort of started off as a bit of a meme, but I can actually see it working really well just to get you through that early game, get a bit more gold, and then help you a bit more with that burst.
Also, speaking of burst, did you see that level 1 trade Refresh was able to find against Jimmy? If you can land that E before the cage comes down, you can get that shield coming out on that passive from Refresh from that Camille. You just win any sort of short trade, because Veigar can only really land like a Q on you, and that's going to be completely blocked by the shield. So I do like the... I think that's one way the Camille can look for advantage, at least in these early levels.
I definitely feel like they do need to find an advantage though. They can't just sit back, they have to be proactive, they have to get an early gold lead, otherwise it's just going to scale out of control.
Nice. Not too much happening in this early game, to be honest. I don't expect anything to happen. If anything does happen, I'd say that's pretty good for the side of Team 2, right? So we're getting some frame issues. Maybe I need to do this. Oops, ignore me that. A little bit of trading up in the top lane. Old Man Center getting beat down a little bit, but yeah.
Power shot will even that trade back a bit. It'll be interesting to see how Jimmy manages the wave mid, because he needs to play super safe for the early game, so he ideally needs it in a state of constant pushing towards him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, obviously, you're Vigar, so you need the stacks. You need to be in control.
Yeah, actually, maybe they'll be able to set up a freeze here, but no, it looks like it's going to crash, so a little bit less safe here. Obviously, Echo not the best at looking for early ganks, so she'll relieve a little bit of pressure on this short Yordle mid lane. But yeah, Camille gets the push, gets the roam, and is looking to try and push Jason out of his own jungle. Oh, sorry, Alpha.
There's a good ward by Billy Bob there, just swapping out Echo so they know where they are. Everyone's sort of hovering around top side. I don't think too much will happen as... But again, Jarvan sort of needs to be doing stuff early.
Old Man Santa finding some nice trades actually onto Billy Bob Johnson. Back to full health. Nobody has any CS in this game, by the way. Flash forwards though, might have a kill. Counter strike not there. First blood to Old Man Santa. Very glad they brought that Ignite in that top lane. Able to find that kill, even if the scoreboard doesn't say it so. I'm gonna keep track of these kills manually. Alright. So the scoreboard's bugged, obviously. Starter items as well. Yep, I completely ruined it. So, the scoreboard, not going to be too useful. I will, if you ever need a champion kill update, just let me know and I'll fill it in.
Mine's fine, so...
Oh, well, good for you, I guess. I guess the viewers will have to guess.
Viewers can imagine. But no, that's kind of the opposite of what Billy Bob wants to do. You do not want to be feeding a Riven early. Just obviously, Ignite, it's going to happen. You can't really fight a 1v1. It's going to end in tears.
Yeah,
at least
Sorry, because you're making a point?
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say, at least with the teleport, you can get back and catch that wave.
We might see some action happening in the mid lane. Jason looking for a gank onto Jimmy. Didn't have the cage, still able to walk it out. The E just short on refresh there. Not able to find the stun, unable to secure that kill. So we're entering a sort of a lull state here, right? It's a bit difficult when we can't even look at the items. What the bloody hell are we supposed to talk about? Nah, we're entering, yeah, just a little bit of time where not too much action's happening. Still, 600 gold lead, 700 gold lead in favor of Team 5. Billy Bob Johnson looking for an aggressive trade. Dashes forwards, maybe not the right choice there. Does apparently have some corrupting potions though. Oh, I know how we can check. We can click on champions to see their... No, we can't.
Oh,
they don't have an inventory. But you know who does have a lot of inventory? Old Man Santa finds the dive. And I think there's something worth noting, right? I wonder how comfortable Billy Bob Johnson is on this Jax, because obviously it was picked as a counter pick into the Camille. But then it just rotate the Riven up there and have a much better time. I'm just getting some
that's true, he doesn't seem too comfortable now. I don't think he plays it too much, if I remember right.
Lucky runes coming in clutch. We have the item scoreboard. We see 2 kills on the Camille now. Has that pickaxe, only a sheen on Billy Bob Johnson. Now, of course, Jax does like that sheen, does get a bit of a advantage when they pick that up. But level 6 here now for Old Man Center in the top lane. Huge domination up here. Already a 1.4k gold lead for Team 2.
And that's good, because that's exactly what they need to be doing, but they do need to try and get this Camille ahead, as well as this Lucian. I think top lane's kind of sorted now. It's very hard to shut down a Riven that's ahead, especially in a melee versus melee matchup.
They are getting engaged on the Jimmy, caught out, but maybe Refresh dives a little bit too far. Doesn't have the Hextech Cultivation, fights Q2 onto Max Verstappen, but no level 6 here for the Jarvan. Means there's going to be no further continuation. No mana for ults for Timotopper either. Flash forwards, level 6 there, the cage. You can't dash away from that. Jason picks up a kill in the mid lane.
Oh no, it was great for Jason to show up after Max was there for a little while.
Yeah.
A bit unfortunate for Refresh, could have maybe got a kill there if Max wasn't hovering, but unfortunately Jarvan was there just to stop that from happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, Refresh still gets an assist in that play, right? It could be a lot worse. So yeah, we can see Old Man Santa really piloting this Riven effectively. I say that, dive forwards by Billy Bob Johnson. You're a level down, but Jax is so strong. Ignite is blown, the armor is there. The wave does catch onto the Jax, drop very low. I think if you can land one leap strike W reset, maybe you can look for the kill. But no, Riven has the potions, dashing forwards, finds the knock up, and finds the kill.
Just overstays, I think. Like, take a trade, you've done well. You're taking a very positive trade despite being 2 kills down. Just back off, take the win, and just try and get smaller increments. But at the moment, it's not looking good for Red Team. They're 2.5k gold down.
They really are quite in the hole. As we see, that gold 1.5k of that gold is just up in that top lane. Riven, such a monster. 3,300 gold shut down already. Other gold is just 1,000 in the jungle for Jason here. That's literally all their advantages to top jungle duo. Now, we aren't seeing the Lucian Braum get ahead as it maybe needs to, which means they're going to fall off as the game goes on. Jinx will be getting more powerful and more value, especially with this Lulu. But I'm not quite sure if it's going to be enough to counteract the top lane advantage here, just for Team 2. Obviously, we talked about how compositionally Team 1 are favoured, but whether they'll be able to get to a point where that composition matters, or whether, as we said before, it will just be wallet diff, will obviously determine how these late game team fights go.
True. It is a very small gold lead. It is not an insurmountable amount of money, especially when you do have a scaling comp. You know, being behind it's fine. There's no reason to hit the panic button just yet. But obviously the worry is, can the blue team press this advantage even further?
Yeah, Refresh looking to press the advantage, looking to find Max in their jungle. 3-man dive. Billy Bob Johnson does have that counter strike. Luckily, Jarvan was up towards that top lane, is able to make it out, is able to protect the dive that was surely brewing up here onto Old Man Santa, and onto Billy Bob Johnson with Old Man Santa. But nice denial to play there, stopping some of that acceleration.
Max isn't exactly having the best early game though. He's a kill down, he's died once, he's 20 odd CS down as well.
Oh no, Billy Bob, no counter strike, flash away, will not save you. Only 176 gold. Oh, goes down. Jason not take up, sorry, nice flash away from the Riven, but the wave will still pick up the kill. We saw there, Refresh jumping over that cage. Veigar ends up falling.
Oh, and this is the worry that they're going to snowball this lead even further. Can they get something back in the bot lane though?
Dropped kinda low, still going to end up surviving.
It was a good polymorph there to interrupt the culling.
It keeps going from bad to worse for Team 2 here, I'm going to be honest. Team 1 here, they seem really unable to find any sort of advantage. And honestly though, Old Man Santa having a really, really good set of games, right? We were a little bit worried that Old Man Santa might be a Smurf, right? But we actually checked this in the post-game 1. This guy's level 743, gold 2, and still putting on a goddamn clinic in this game, in these games that we've seen on the stream, right?
That's a very high level, but yeah, I've been quite impressed with him. Obviously not really seen him play much before.
Yeah, but really actually seemingly getting everyone else's number in this top lane. Oh, and the worst part is, if you're ahead in the top lane, right, it's one of the easiest lanes to snowball, just because it's so long and it's so isolated. And you see, if Jax is in the mid lane here, they only have to run about 5 or 10 seconds to make it back to the turret. Then they've got like a bit of a 30-second track almost at this point to make it under their tier 1. So yeah, if you just misposition, you overextend that a little bit too long, you're just going to get run down by the Riven.
It's going to be very hard to keep this Riven down. You've already got Gore Drinker at 11 minutes and cooldown boots. It's going to be very hard to stop her. It's kind of hard to see how Team 2 are going to get back into this. They need time, but Team 1 aren't giving them it. Yeah,
3-level advantage. Popping the ult just to get extra AD on the target. But Billy Bob Johnson's going to be... It's not a useless ult either way. Dives in, gets blown up. 5-0-1. Mythic complete here. Getting some plates as well up in this top lane solo. With that Rift Herald taken, it won't even need to be put top lane. It's down to its last turret plate.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Rivens are going to be a huge problem. Veigar and Jinx won't be online until at least 2 items.
And you have to feel, if you're Team 1 here, what could you have done to prevent this, right? How could you have, I don't know, maybe tried to nullify this lane advantage? Maybe what you have to do is, when you see this Riven has this 2-kill lead, you have to sack the mid lane as Timotopper. Obviously, I know you're a mid lane player, and Billy Bob Johnson isn't really so much, but sack the mid lane, go and try and save top lane. Oh, comes out. Nice get right central. Gets the kill on the dive. So Locky Room will end up falling. That's the first kill on the board for Team 1. But this time it's not Jimmy that's quite so far behind. It's a similar sort of story to last game. 8-1 at 12 minutes. Sure, you've got a dragon on your side. It means you can't stack those dragon souls. You know what, there is... Alright, it feels mean and a little bit troll to say this. But there is one upside to this game, right? For Team 1. There are 8 deaths. Sorry, make that maybe 9 deaths. Jimmy getting dove under the turret. Ult by Kabil will actually find the 1-for-1 though. Jason will end up falling, so nicely done there. Anyway, the point I'm making is, this Jax is 0-5-0 at the top lane. That's not good, right?
No.
But it's significantly better than this Jax being 0-5-1 in this lane. Because obviously, as long as Jax doesn't get anything, right, they're going to be worth less and less gold on each consecutive kill. And it might sound really troll, but I've seen it. People will overestimate their lead simply because they've got a bunch of kills up in the lane and be like, oh, I'm invincible, I can 1v9 anyone, when they've just been killing a caster minion's worth of gold. As Billy Bob Johnson goes back in. Oh, speaking of killing, Old Man Santa finds another one. Max Verstappen will tick down to the Ignite as well.
This is not looking good for Team 1. I mean, I think it's a bit of a problem that Team 1 have is just their early game. It's the last couple of games we've seen them now just fall apart a bit in the early game. Granted, obviously, it's, you know, it's still group stage. It's not knockout yet, so at least they've got time to fix that and maybe, you know, change the draft to get a bit more of an early game focus.
Ooh,
but I mean, the one positive for them is that obviously this Jinx is ahead of this Lucian currently.
Which is what we saw last game as well. The top side really struggled, the bot lane had a much easier time. And we saw Getrick to get ahead on Xayah, right? Kind of, I think last game was a little bit more doomed than this one. Even though it's still 11 kills at 14 minutes. There is a lot more counterplay to be engaged in this game, right? You've got the Veigar, you've got the Lulu, you've got, as you mentioned before, the Jax even likes it when people jump into it. Even if he's useless, he still can put out that stun. So...
That's true, yeah.
It's not necessarily doomed, is the point I'm making.
Yeah. Well, Jinx only needs one reset, and she should be able to get it in a good team fight as long as her front line doesn't immediately evaporate.
Big as long as there, I'm going to be honest. Hearsay finds the Q onto Mizu Knight. 2 autos down, third one, can they land the stun? Lockyroon not in the right place to engage. Hearsay maybe oversteps a little bit, but this Braum fairly tanky at this point. Not going to have enough damage. Gale Force forward, so by Getrick Central does find the kill. Polymorph onto that culling, flashing away from the rocket. The auto doesn't quite quit, doesn't get enough damage. Max Verstappen is here, and so is Jason. Getrick in a lot of danger here. Defensive tools for Summoner's use. Gets just absolutely blown up by this Echo. 116 farm versus 78. Finds the damage and finds the kill. Old Man Santa is down here as well. Mizu Light not going to be along for this one. Going to say night to themselves and end up falling. And it looked good originally for the side of Team 1, right? They found the play. They found a kill onto Hearsay. They found, they didn't quite find it onto Lockyroon though. And without that reset, Jinx gets caught out and gets taken down.
This is the worry though. When everyone else is ahead, Jason's just going to turn his eyes to bot lane to try and shut that down and get Lucian ahead. And yeah, started off really well, getting a kill. Bit unlucky to not kill Locky there, but you know, that is what it is.
Yeah.
And then it was just the jungle fight where Jason's got the level advantage and the damage.
Got the everything advantage at this point, honestly. Anyway, still, inhibitors haven't been cracked at 60 minutes. I don't think it's going to be a pre-20 minute surrender, which, you know, that's a bit of a positive, I have to say. But it's still looking...
Well, I hope not.
Still looking exceptionally rough, right?
Yeah. And at least Team 1 has a dragon, so it shuts down an Elder Soul. So they've got time to... They've bought a bit of time to scale.
Yeah, just a little bit. But Max Verstappen getting engaged on here. Flag and drag. Countered by the Camille. Gets taken down. Almost sent to find another solo kill onto Billy Bob Johnson. 0-7 and 0. I don't think I wonder if I've seen that one from Team 1 before. But wait, Refresh overextends and Timotopper finds the kill with the Everfrost. Nicely done for the return kill onto Camille. But it feels like a little bit of a consolation prize. Sure, 450 gold as shutdown is pretty damn good actually, but you're still losing out on the bot lane and you're still going to lose out on this dragon.
Especially for the Veigar when he needs to get his death cap to just get those really insane AP numbers. They do have objective bounties, so all it takes is a couple of those to swing the goal back in their favour.
Oh no, Mizu Knight, you can't be there. The knockup comes through. The Wild Growth will not save you. Lockyroon picks up a kill.
No, a bit of an overextend. You don't want to be doing that as Lulu, especially when there's no need to be there. You can't go for a steal, really.
I was going to say, it looks like a little bit of a cinema gameplay from Team 1, right? You know, where you just look at the objective, you just walk around, try and contest, but you just realise there's no way in. Rather than get something else on the map, you just stick around. And then it was like a cinema gameplay, and then getting swept up by the custodians afterwards, you know, just put in the trash. Stayed just a little bit too long. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. Old Man Santa
Oh no, old man Santa's just
bullying. This isn't fair. Come on. There's no chance. 4 levels up.
He was playing the matchup really well. He's using Riven's mobility to dodge the counter strike, which I really like. He definitely knows what he's. I mean, obviously he's playing really well because he's 7-0, but.
Well. Anyway, Rift Herald is picked up here. Yet another advantage in Team 2's back pocket. Really? Yeah, they just have total control of this top side of the map. I don't know what you can do to contest. And I'm really sorry, Angus. This is a difficult game to colorcast because it's just like, what do you say? It's just Team 2. They want something, they take it. Sure, there are maybe mistakes made here and there. That's more my domain. If someone missteps, I call it out. But yeah, just really catching waves under these turrets, trying not to give up more than they already have. 9,000 gold in the lead for Team 2 here.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, it's good for Team 1 to actually recognise that this is now an issue. Like, obviously, if it happens in one game, you can chance it up to be just
nice Everfrost from Refresh there. Does have that Hextech ultimatum. Flash failed over the wall, but the Q misses. Oh my lord, it's a Cadaver misplaced. Never mind, it's a comedy of errors, and the Rocket finds the kill up in that top lane. All just to donate the kill over to the Jinx, of course. But in the meanwhile, Billy Bob Johnson does dodge away from the sun, flash away from Seko, but followed up on Torn apart. You make a nice play on the top lane, a little bit lucky, a little bit unlucky, but then your bot lane just collapses.
I'm glad that Jinx actually managed to hit that rocket, because after that comedy of errors, that would have been bad to not get a kill on Camille.
Hey,
although having said that, this Rift is going to get a charge off on an inhibitor turret.
That's might get a charge off on an inhibitor as well. Get Rex Central, how do you walk up here? 3 levels down. Musu Knight is 4, and I don't know how you can test without any sort of front line here, right? Sure. Jarvan does eventually find the reset, but it's a little bit too little, a little bit too late. Bot lane inhibitor falls for the side of Team 2.
So, you know, trying to very much search for positives here. At least that's now a lane that guarantees them farm.
Yeah.
Again, we're very much clutching at straws here, because it is now over a 10k gold lead.
Oh my lord. Hey, there's also no Dragon Soul for the next 10 minutes at least, so, you know. 10 minutes Jinx to scale up, often super minion wave. Gone for the double crit cloak.
Okay,
that's new. Maybe they just had 600 gold extra and they didn't want to wait for the LDR because they thought they might lose, so I understand that. As we see another Magi is being brought here by Jason, having a really nice jungle set of games, right? A question mark going into this tournament was how well Jason would be able to perform on this role that they're not so familiar with, but they really put on a masterclass. Billy Bob, I think you're a little bit dead. No offense. Refresh actually not able to find damage. Nice dodge away from that second Q with that counter strike, but Baron is just being started up here by Team 2.
I mean, it very much seems that Team 2 are all about the AP junglers, just so Refresh can play, you know, an AD top mid.
Oh no. Followed with the ultimatum. Nice try on the contest there from Max, but will end up falling, and Baron will go over to Team 2. Billy Bob, we won't say that. Only worth 100.
Oh no, the ignite.
Worth less than a jungle count at this point. Worth 100 gold.
Bit of a rough one when you're Jax and you're behind.
Yeah, a bit of a rough one when you're Team 1 apparently. Flash forwards there. Old Man Santa blows up Veigar. I'm used to seeing that the other way around, but Riven, man, such a strong champion. This might just be the end, honestly. I hate to say it, but this might just be the end. Oh.
Yeah, it's...
Inhibitors are being pushed in on. Baron minions are up. Jinx, how much scaling can you get done in the next 30 seconds?
Yeah.
They sold the cloak. They do have the LDR, but... yeah, that's going to be the inhibitor falling as well up in the top side. Oh, and it's an absolute disaster. Dash forward by Billy Bob. Max Verstappen tries to find something. Does find a nice ult. Jinx can maybe get some damage down, but there are too many health bars. Too much damage coming out from Team 2 here as they wipe Team 1 off the floor. 3 dead. Only the Jinx to defend. Tries to find a kill. Maybe gets a shutdown onto Old Man Santa. Trying to get the first kill onto this Camille. I think this guy's unkilled in the past 2 games, which is kind of insane. Get wrecked. The opposite of unkilled.
Jinx is excited, but oversteps slightly, and Camille decides that's enough.
Yeah, and it looks like Team 2 have decided that this game is enough as well. Get the kills, get the Nexus, and get the win. Whew.
So we're definitely right. Well, we're definitely wrong in picking the team comps that we like.
No, yeah, I think it's just cursed. Right once in this.